It's a. I do feel like it took you a long time to push that button. Can I just say that?
Okay.
And that's not like I'm not trying to be judgy or anything, but it took you longer than it needed to take. So.
Hi everyone, and welcome
We're off to a
to.
great start.
Do you want to go? Do you want to start us off, or should I start us off?
Yeah, I'd like to. Hi everyone, and welcome to Ask Todd Live, featuring Todd and his cat Addie.
And I'm here, and I'm here as well. My name's Tyler Goff. I'm in learning and development. And for those of you who don't know what Ask Todd is, it's sort of like a Dear Abby kind of thing. You ask questions, and Todd, with kind of like no sort of like expertise or sort of experience in any areas, will answer some of your questions. So I don't really personally, I've never seen the appeal, but this is what it is, and you wanted it, so here it is. We're doing this today.
Okay, I don't see how that helps the introduction. Okay, so like every week you do that part. You have to give it a disclaimer of some sort, but I just don't see what it adds to it, and that's all I'm saying. But yeah.
Okay, thanks for adding that, Todd. Basically the way the show works, if you have never tuned in before, is we have our chat open, and we'd love for you to ask any questions you want of Todd, and Todd will answer your questions. So we have one right now. I read the questions. That's one of the things that's kind of gone by the wayside since we started the show.
This is a great question that just came in from Kyle. He said, "Hey Tyler, you talk too much. Just want to say you've officially made my Mount hush more because you should hush more. Thoughts?" And that's a great question. Oh, and Meredith has a cat going too. Oh wait, no, that's not a cat. Is that a cat? What kind of cat is that? I've never seen a cat like that.
Hey Kyle, a couple things. First of all, thank you.
Kyle says the cat is sick.
It's really rare that I'll get questions directed at me on the show, so thank you for asking a question of me. And secondly, let's try to keep the questions kind of more polite. There is an etiquette to the show. We do have a sponsor, and I want to make sure our sponsor doesn't leave like the last one did. Yeah.
Let's roll the ad.
Yeah. Okay. So really quick, we do have a sponsor for today's show. As you all may know, Learning and Development has kind of dropped this show in terms of sponsoring it due to some comments that Todd has made in the past. So we do have a new sponsor, Shoelace Co. brand shoelaces. You probably have a pair already on your shoes. If you have shoes with shoelaces, there's a good chance they're Shoelace Co. shoelaces. They sent me some free samples for the show, so I got a free sample here. You can see it on my screen here. They only sent the one.
And Tyler, if I could just jump in here, and like I don't usually push our sponsors, right? I'm wearing a pair of these shoelace right now, and they're a dream.
Let's see them. Why don't you show them to the group?
I had an experience with shoelace like this before. Let's show them again. So let's get a good look at those. These are Shoelace Co. brand shoelaces, and I mean they're a dream.
You can really tell.
I can't.
You can really tell the Shoelace Co.
I'm sorry. I trip less both literally and figuratively. Like I don't have I'm like, oh, I'm tripping. That never happens. And then, oh, I tripped. That never happens. It's just I have my life together and I have my walking together, you know. So it's been a great experience. The show, and that's a lot of pressure. I wasn't prepared for that. Oh, we have a question. Hey Todd, do you wear your shoes inside because you can't be bothered to mop? So that's an interesting question, Michael. Thanks so much for writing in. I do feel like part of it was a question and part of it was trying to be an insult, which maybe not the most mature. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, when you consider, when you're making your New Year's resolutions, maybe next year, let's work on being adults. That'd be fun. So anyway, the reason I wear shoes inside is I honestly feel more prepared for life when I have them on. And I have to say, especially now with Shoelace Co. brand shoelaces, which Tyler's holding up right there, I feel even more prepared for life. And I don't know. Honestly, if I take shoes off inside, I feel like I feel naked. And I'm not. So I grew up like in a house where nudity was a bad thing. So that's not a comfortable feeling for me. You know. Um, Parenthetically, I'm dealing with these light beams, and they are
Yeah.
very distracting to me.
Yeah.
And I apologize to everyone. Let's
Yeah,
try this.
Michael, and just kind of to double tap that question, I know that Todd is the one who answers the questions here, but sometimes a question's just so good that I feel like I need to give my 2 cents. So just to
Gotcha.
kind of double tap that question, I personally didn't wear shoes really at all in my life until Shoelace Co. brand shoelaces entered my life. And things have really taken a sharp left turn for me in this area now. Before Shoelace Co. shoelaces, I was a no shoe boy, and
Hey, Tyler,
now yeah.
can you speak on that?
I'm sorry.
Can you speak on that a bit?
Speak on me not
Speak
wearing
on that.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never found I never really got the point.
Okay.
Never really got the
That's
point of
great.
shoes, and
Great.
it wasn't until we started working with these kind folks over here, located in New Denmark, Michigan, their headquarters.
Oh, we got a new
That
question
we
in.
Okay, we got a question in. Okay,
We're gonna get right back to our sponsor, but
don't
we
worry
got
about
this
that,
question
folks.
here
We'll
from
talk about them
Kyle.
plenty.
Tyler, do you want to read the question? I feel like you're more
It's directed
comfortable
at
reading
me.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey Tyler, heard a nasty rumor about your last name. Okay. Heard it used to be golf, but your great granddad lost so much on the links that they made him drop the L, both literally and figuratively.
Oh, that's good.
I guess my question is that still
No,
that still
that's
Sting?
still
That's still
Sting.
Sting. Yeah.
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks. Thanks.
great question,
Thanks.
Kyle. Yeah, it does still hurt him. I think that a lot of the way he reacts to things in life is out of this fear of rejection or this fear of failure, because he knows that his granddaddy was such a bad grand caddy, and so he wasn't actually a golfer, he was a caddy on the links actually, which and they called him the grand caddy.
That makes a
But
lot of sense.
yeah, and he just gave such bad advice. He was like, it was like a 400-yard drive, and he'd be like, I'm saying pitching wedge, man. And they're like, pitching wedge, I got to hit it with my driver. And he's like, trust me.
This is
And
the
anyway,
rumor I heard. That's the rumor I heard.
that's the rumor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they called him Wedge Man because he always suggested a wedge. He had a lot of nicknames: Grand Caddy, Wedge Man, Loser, I guess was one.
I even heard one guy call him Wood for brains.
Yes, yeah, and that's because we didn't really use like the 3-wood that often, but it was still like a golf kind of term,
I mean, very closely related.
Yeah, sure it is. And he got balls lost in the woods also. I think that
Hey
was part
Kyle.
of it also.
Hey Kyle, I have a question for you. I've told that story to a handful of people in my entire life. My wife doesn't know that story. And one of the people I told that story to is Terry, who's actually on this call today. And I'm wondering, point blank, did you hear that story from Terry? And Terry, I've heard you laugh a couple times on this call, laughing at our expense. This isn't a comedy show. Let me make that abundantly clear.
I will say this. Can I say something before I name names?
Yes.
I did hear it from Terry.
I'm glad and I'm so glad that you said that.
I'm not naming any names.
Yeah,
I am not naming any names because I'm not that kind of guy. But it was Terry.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to move on from this because I don't want to talk about this at all. And this is completely a huge invasion of my privacy. Terry, if you ever want to unmute and defend yourself, feel free.
And Terry, also, you should know that my mom's name is Terry. So that name means a lot to me also.
I apologize, silly me. I had my didn't have my speaker on mute, so didn't mean to wreck the whole flow.
Oh, well, I mean, no.
Fine.
You didn't wreck anything, Terry.
Well, okay.
But if you did tell Kyle that story about my my pappy, then that was kind of that was sort of you broke my trust. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Tyler
I
and
did
Harry,
not. No.
while we're waiting for more questions to come in, I would love to take this time to share with you guys a little bit of what I've been doing at home. I've been putting together a lot more. I've been trying to get in shape, so I've actually been creating my own workouts. Right. I've got these resistance bands I got, and I'm still kind of figuring them out, but I thought I'd share some of the workouts that I've been coming up with. Is that something we could do on this show, Tyler? Do you think?
That's something we have to do on the show, I think. Yeah. Is really try to, let's try to educate.
So this is a workout that again, I'm not an actual trainer, but I think that these are great exercises you can do where you just kind of hold them right here and then you just do this, which is just sort of rocking on your ankles. Put all the weight on your ankles, and then just it's not really, the band itself isn't really doing anything, but I think it's just a great exercise if you want to do that.
You don't even need the band really for this, no, to be honest. No. Yeah.
No. It's more of like just there because it makes you feel like you're doing something.
And another thing that you can do, look at me for example. I'm not a workout guru like Todd is. I don't have a band I can be using, right? But what I do have is shoelaces, and they're very strong, and you can actually use those to do the same sort of workout. So I think Todd
that looks great.
Kind of looped around here, and you can actually take the shoelace and you can do that same exercise just like this. If you use
And now, Tyler, can you do that exercise with any of the colors, or is it just with the color you're using there?
I'm using
Meredith is doing it too. Meredith is doing it.
Yeah, Meredith. This is great.
Meredith, looking good. We should all be doing this right now together.
Yeah.
We should all be
I didn't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything. Yeah. And I won't say anything else after this. But Meredith's form is actually kind of better than Todd's.
Well, it's not a competition, but I also think that you might be wrong.
I'm not.
Well, okay. Now I know. Oh, we have a question. Coming in from, excuse me so much, from Mimi. Definitely going to reference it later. New follower here. Are we ever graced with a musical performance, Todd? Yeah, last week we almost got into Mambo number 5 by Lou Bega. That was great. Next question is it's from DevZoom 500.
Okay, this seems like a phishing. It looks like a phishing email. So we might have a phishing email in the Zoom. So no one click anything from Dev.
Just don't click the links. Yeah.
Don't click any of the links from DevZoom.
Unless they're Shoelace co-brand shoelaces.
And they'll let us know.
Todd.
We'll tell,
Yeah. In your quest to become an Instagram influencer, what kind will you be? I would like to think a benevolent kind. I'd like to think that I'm going to be, that I am already, one that's leaving this world better than he found it. And when I say that I already am one, what I mean by that is you can't become an influencer by living, your life the way you did before. You have to be an influencer to become an influencer, if that makes any sense. You have to practice what you believe every day. And it's important, the world needs influencers right now. And that's why I'm influencing. That's a great question. We have a question here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to read that question from Juliana here. Hey, Todd, do you consider yogurt a dessert? A dessert.
Oh, it's 2 S's. Yeah. That's a great question, Juliana. If it's frozen, I think I do. If they say, hey, this is frozen yogurt, then I'll say, yeah, I'll get a dip of that. I'll get a little scoop of that. I guess you don't do scoops. It's like you do this, right? What do you call that? Is this a pour?
Soft serve.
Yeah, but what's my verb?
Soft serving.
Oh, a serving. Okay, yeah. Sorry, you did have it right there. So
sorry, Meredith.
Yeah, if it's frozen, yes. Yeah, my bad, Meredith. But if it's unfrozen, no, get it out of here. You know what I mean? That's a snack right there.
Todd, we've got another real zinger, a good question from Kyle here that I want to read. It's going to take about 4 minutes for me to read it, so just give it a hot second here. But dear Todd, when we first met, I told you I was a bit of an Anglophile, meaning I admire the culture and customs of the United Kingdom. So imagine my surprise when you sent me a photo of Judith Light with a note that said, "For your file." The only sense I can make from this is that Judith Light played Angela on the 90s sitcom Who's the Boss? And when I said I'm a big Anglophile, you thought I said I have a big Angela-phile. Care to explain? And this is one that I've been wondering about for a long time as well, actually.
Yeah, and that is a great question. That it really is. And so I want to start that, but when I answer that question, I want to start by talking a little bit about, I guess, the show Who's the Boss, which really was a great show. And I also want to talk a little bit about Judith Light's, where she was born, which was in New Jersey. But more importantly, let's talk about the Angela file. We all make mistakes. Okay. This isn't something that I wanted to do live on this show. But
you okay, man?
But I get
you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I think I just want to get through it. You know what? I just want to do this. I think
I
need to do this.
I'm here if you need anything.
And Kyle, like I'm glad, more than anything, I'm glad that I have people in my life who hold me accountable. Because sometimes I think to myself, like, I'm an influencer and like I have the status that I have, and but I think that I'm above. Bless you. Is that you, Kyle? Yeah.
Okay. I think that was Mike Carroll.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Anyway, you think that you're above reproach, and you start to act like, Justin Bieber, doing what you live in your life like you don't care about what other people do. And I, a lot of my life has been like, what would Justin Bieber do?
I know that story.
Yeah. Thanks for relating to me on this. And anyway, I made a mistake. You know what I mean? I made a mistake.
Here's what I'm going to say. I knew this question was going to strike a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know it was going to strike this nerve.
Sure.
And that's all I'll say about it. And that's all I'm going to say for the rest of the show. Only to say that one more thing, and I will just get into it real quickly, is that it was a really nice picture of Judith Light, and thank you. I never said thank you because I was so confused, and I want to say thank you for it. It's really nice. Didn't have an Angela file before. I got one now. Thanks, dude.
Hey, let's remember, everyone, when we're asking our questions, let's remember the feelings of the person who's put themselves in the position where they're willing to answer your questions. Some of these questions are hitting a little hard, and they're starting to affect me as well. I'm going to be honest. That one hit me pretty hard as well. So let's try to keep that in mind.
I thought that was a great ending to that story, though. I think that it was a really positive ending, and I appreciate Kyle. Thank you for that journey. It was a journey, for me.
Hey, Michael Nolan raised his hand. Michael, if that's because you want to say something, you can unmute and you can say whatever you need to say.
I just, following on the previous thing, Todd, I know you felt insulted with my earlier question. And
sure.
I was actually going to ask a question because I was asking to find out whether I was the only one who always wore my shoes inside because I, in fact, refused to let my floors be mopped. So in effect, by calling me immature, it really kind of impacted my feelings too. And so I feel like that both of us just kind of need a clean break there. And, I hope you would.
Can you do me a favor here, Michael, real quick?
Possibly.
Can you accept an apology from me that I'm about to give you?
Let's hear the apology first, but
okay.
Chances are good.
I think that there's been as I was kind of expressing to Kyle, there's been a lot of pressure for me to be right, to be the smartest guy in the room, and to act like I'm infallible. And I think that when I read something, I'm immediately going on the defensive. I think people are attacking me because I have so many haters. last week I talked a little bit about haterade, which is a thing that I came up with, and it's about how I drink this stuff and it fuels me. I get fueled by my haters, and so sometimes I think that I even want people to be haters so that I can be fueled by it, you know. And I apologize for turning an honest question into my hater fuel, because that wasn't right. That wasn't right.
Thanks for saying that. I appreciate that. And also, I think you should use Haterade as a possible. Should consider them as a future sponsor of the channel.
We are,
but I don't want to overstep. I don't want to overstep. So
I'm going to dive in here and say that we aren't at liberty to discuss any of the contractual conversations we may be having with other sponsors. And currently, Shoelace Co. Shoelaces is our only sponsor. You can see their fine work right here. This one's it's actually starting to fall apart a little bit in my hands. So I don't know if this is a lower quality one but we can't really discuss any other sponsors, but we are considering multiple other sponsors. Haterade is on that list. And one other thing I want to say before we get into this next question by Bryce here, for Todd, is while we do appreciate that all of you have emotions and feelings, and we want to consider those the best we can during the course of this show, your feelings don't matter to us. That's a hard way of saying that. Your feelings don't matter all that much to us compared to how we feel like your questions affect us. So I feel like I'm really saying this. Todd, help me out here. Back me up here. I feel like I'm saying this the wrong way.
Well, first, I want to get back to the shoelaces. I think that's,
I would actually then like to apologize for bringing my feelings into this discussion. I think that was really out of line, and it's really ruined the show, the flow of everything.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I retract that. I apologize.
All right, thank you. That's actually, I think that's good. I think we can actually close the loop on that the same way you would with a pair of shoelaces. Okay, we have a question from Bryce. Hey, Todd, who is a smarter scientist, you or Neil deGrasse Tyson? And is he cutting deGrasse outside your window? A little play on words there, I think. Not bad.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a great two-parter, Bryce. I'm going to start with the first part. And first, so who is a smarter scientist, right? So that question, it has kind of two parts to it in itself. That first half does, and it's that it's almost like you're asking like, who is the more efficient scientist, or who is more intelligent generally, and the one doesn't really have that much to do with the other. Me and Neil are both a couple of guys who follow the scientific process, right? And we both are strict adherents to that process. Now, whether or not one has, higher levels of intelligence than the other, who's to say? But I would say that we both are equally devoted to the scientific process. And so in that way, I'd say we're equal. As far as intelligence goes, it's a toss-up. I mean, who's to say what's more intelligent? I would say that, and let's get to the second half of the question, actually, rather than that. Is he cutting deGrasse outside my window?
Is it
actually,
him? Is it him?
I think he is right now, actually, cutting deGrasse outside my window.
That's crazy. Wow,
astrophysicist
Neil deGrasse Tyson is outside Todd's window right now, working on his
deGrasse.
lawn. That was Bryce. You had to have known that. That's crazy.
Insane, man.
You should yell space at him. You should yell space at him.
Yell space.
Space. Oh, he turned around.
That's him. That's him.
That's how you know it's him. That's how you can tell it's him.
That is classic deGrasse Tyson. Hi, Todd. We have a question from Nick. Should we get to that one?
Yeah, why don't you dive into that one?
Hey, Todd. I've heard rumors that Tyler has exclusively slip-on or Velcro shoes, possibly since he does not know how to tie shoelaces. Do you think that poses a conflict of interest with this week's sponsorship? Man, that's a great question.
No. I've already shown there's lots of different ways that you can use shoelaces without having to feel like you put them on your actual shoes. So conflict of interest.
That's
first of all,
here's
my answer to it. Okay. This show is not Ask Tyler. Okay. Conflict of interest. Tyler books the sponsors. That's it, man. I mean, honestly, an automated system could do what Tyler does.
Well,
It's not a conflict of
crazy.
Shush, shut your face for a little bit. A conflict of interest doesn't exist when one of the parties is completely obsolete. You know,
I feel like you downplay my role here a little bit. Could an automated system open up the box that all of our box and swag came in? I don't think so. So I opened up that box and
you used a robot to do it though.
But the rope,
you know what I mean?
But who presses the on switch on the robot?
I pressed the on switch on the robot.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I could have pressed it. I also could have done that, is what I'm trying to say. So I feel like comparing me to an automated system and downplaying my role in this, I feel like we're just throwing sticks and stones. And sticks and stones yeah.
I think we're losing Meredith here. If I can be honest, I think she's doing other stuff now.
I've been noticing her facial expression is not as engaged as it was at the start of the show.
Meredith's face right now.
She was loving this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her face is right now reading an article in the Atlantic. That is the face. That is
she's
an Atlantic.
Meredith, what do you need? What do we need to do for you to get this back on track? We're hemorrhaging followers right now.
I can tell you've clicked skip ad at least twice.
Yeah.
Which means you're pretty far into that article.
No, I'm into the laces and all of this. I'm right there with you guys.
Velcro story. That's a likely story.
Okay, so she's just saying buzzwords so she can tell, so that it shows that she's been kind of listening.
Did you want to see another exercise maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have
we should see another exercise.
Let's see.
This is one I came up with yesterday. I call it the forearm shiver.
Whoo! You're looking kind of buff.
That's too advanced for me, man.
It's my elbow. But thank you.
Yeah. It's a bow tie.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah, I like it.
And you can do this with like every exercise Todd does today. You can do it just as easily with a shoelace if you feel so inclined. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what, if you do this one that Todd's doing right now the right way, you will be sore for weeks. And you'll be limping. You'll be limp biscuit. Your friends at the gym are going to call you.
Your knees will hurt. Your joints will hurt.
Everything's going to hurt.
The most sore. Yeah.
So, do these, and we really want to mention that we aren't health experts or exercising experts. So please do all of the exercise at your own risk.
We have 1 minute left and we got a question in from Erica. Let's hear it. Right?
Let's hear it. Yeah. Let's do it.
Hey, Todd, really important question here. Do you prefer dinner rolls or biscuits? And that's a great question, Erica. Thanks so much for writing in. I am a fan of dinner rolls typically. I feel like dinner rolls have a wider variety. There's
all right,
more
dinner
to
rolls.
choose from.
The answer is dinner rolls. Okay, so that's it. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your amazing questions. We'll be back next week with another titillating episode of Ask Todd. And don't forget to tie up the competition with Shoelace Co. brand shoelaces. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.